All right, and we are now live running the number 6060 Bullet Nose Locomotive. Anyway, let's see, is anybody... Oh, we've already got some people joined in here. Let me set it to live chat. Hopefully I won't miss any messages there. We've got NYC STL 759 Productions, Ottawa Model Railfan, Angry Railfan. And I think that's everyone for the moment. Dirty Dan's Trains, hello. Bruce Fairs, welcome. Nathan Nader 6688. Speedster 10, welcome. Federal 2000, CBR, hello. Downtown Trains, G. I'm Showrolder. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I apologize. Max's Dinosaurs, hello. Jordan Martinez, J. The Railfanner. Evan Lewis, the BR Steamer, WNY Railfan, Spartan Drew, Crude Caboose, Phoenix Smith, Downtown Trains, more trains, CG's Trains, Nathan Delay, the Nerd, I Am Milk, Train Team, Just Drivers Doughboy, Aaron Sadowski, that must be how it's pronounced, Train Boy 073, hello. Train Boy Productions, one person. They both commented right beside each other, though. West Virginia Railfan, hello. Howdy doing? Welcome. CN Fan, hello. Tristan Maxwell, Trains and Other Stuff, welcome. James Nuller. Federal 2000. I'm currently making a dummy locomotive into a powered locomotive. If it's an Athearn, you're going to be in luck. Those, as far as I know, are not very hard to convert. Linda Bailey, hello. Jordan Martinez, back for another stream. Yes, welcome back. Oh, we've got a super chat from Downtown Trains. Thank you for the super chat. Serenity, early stream. Yeah, I might be going to see a drive-in with the family, you know, so better do a live stream if that's what's going on. So yeah, that's why. Onion Hat, hello. My train cars come tomorrow. Super hyped. It's always fun waiting for stuff in the mail. It's like mini Christmas, you know. You wait a little while, it arrives in the mail. You've got a box, and then you get to open it. It's so exciting. Hey SMT, can you fix my old Varney locomotive? If you want to send me an email about that, I might be able to help you out. I do repairs for people, but there are just certain conditions I have about them. Raiden Channel, hello. Agentdro, the TF, and LPS World, our own fan 2007. How was your day? I've had a good day. Mostly, it's raining outside, so we just went for a little breakfast with the grandparents, and yeah, been working on this little number. New York Railfan, hello. Nathan Delay, hi. Okay, I wasn't supposed to read that comment. Hey, SMT, I went to a railroad museum yesterday. That's fun. Nice New Haven sitting on the side. Yeah, they need to be put back on the track. I just took them off because I was trying to program something and they were all powering up. But yeah, I ordered another one. Hopefully that will arrive, and then I'll have 4 of the little devils. That would be fun. Phoenix Smith, how coincidental. I have the same steam engine in Hopper. Wow. These, if you're in Canada, I find these are not too hard to come by because they were included in the 2001 edition of the President's Choice train sets. Mine actually wasn't from a train set. I received it as a Christmas gift, funny enough. The funny part of that is because they sold them as Christmas train sets, and I just got one individually. But in any case, great little locomotive. One of my favorites, probably. HO Scale Athearn Genesis fan, welcome. Back for another stream. Dodger Bend Railway, how are you? Have you ever thought of buying a PRR GG1? Yes, absolutely. I own a few of them. I own an old Pemco one, but the motor went bad on it, so that's the end of that one pretty much. And then I've got a whole bunch of Tyco ones. The Tyco ones, I like them because they're fun. But I don't really consider them GG1s because they're so unprototypical. Like, it's like, okay, this doesn't really count as a GG1. But the other day I was on eBay and I found a lot of two of them, a Brunswick green and a Tuscan red. And they were going as a lot, a buy it now, for what amounted to, with shipping, 120 Canadian dollars, which is really not a bad deal because at train shows I usually see those things individually going for $100. So I don't know why they were being sold for so cheap. They probably don't run. The seller didn't have a whole lot to say about them, which is sort of suspicious, but I ordered them. Hopefully they'll turn up, and yeah, who knows. I think one of them I'm sure is by River Rossi. The other one I'm unsure as to who it's made by, but either way, I've got two new GG1s on their way. Is it day in Canada? It's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so yeah. Hey SMT, will you randomly appear on the La Plata VRF cam sometimes? What's that? Clean one of my O-scale locos. The commutator was pretty dirty, but now it runs smoothly. Cleaning the commutator can really make such a big difference on a locomotive, especially if it's an older one where commutator is really carboned up. They don't like anything, they need maintenance. Cool, there aren't too many drive-in theaters left. Well, they're springing up all over the place now. So, yeah, there's one that opened, I can't describe, I think it's on the east side of the city, Ottawa. So, yeah, I don't know. I've never been there. It's a farm. I've been to the farm before, but I've never been to it as a drive-in. So that's going to be interesting. I'm pretty curious. It's a shame there aren't more. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, it's an Athearn. Found parts on eBay. I'll be getting it soon. That's awesome. Can you run your favorite switcher locomotive? Yeah, we can run one of those. It's probably SMT is gamer. I have an old Air Force loco in the caboose, and it works fine. That's cool. HO scale Athearn Genesis fan. How are you? I'm well. How are you? What's going on with the other part of the layout off to the left? This part, not a whole lot. There hasn't been very much activity, but I think when the fall rolls around, I'm going to give it a bit more attention. But, you know, it's the summertime, so I'm just out and about a lot more than I am in, the rest of the seasons because it's not freaking freezing outside. So, yeah, so the time I do have, I've been putting it into this thing, because I actually have a deadline for when I want to get this thing done, which is April 2021. Everybody needs to hold me accountable for that, because I want to make sure I do get it done by then. So yeah, this one's going to kind of be on hold until then. But yeah. Can you run the Australian with the... I can run the Australian locomotive and the NS separately, but they're very different locomotives, so they wouldn't... In fact, I couldn't operate them both on DCC, because the Norfolk Southern engine is just a regular DC locomotive. It's an old Athearn Blue Box. I wonder how the four will look running together. I think it's going to be mint. I can't wait. It looks like somebody posted a super chat. I'm just going to see who that is. Tyler Conrad, hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Do you have any CB and Q locomotives? If so, do you mind giving them a run? Well, thank you very much for the super chat. I don't know if I have any CB and Q locomotive. I might have one, but I can't think of which engine that would be off the top of my head. But if there's any other engines you want me to run, just let me know and I'll fulfill that request. Godly Hidden Eagle. Hello. Do you have any Alco PAs? Alco PAs. Sharknose by Alco? Run the Swedish locomotive. We can run that one later. For right now, I'm going to switch this up, though. Somebody wanted me to run my quote-unquote favorite switcher, so I'm just going to take my favorite childhood switcher. We'll put that on there. It's a proto engine. It's moderately powerful. It will probably be strong enough to pull this little train. If you don't make the deadline, you'll have all of your You'll have to give all of your subscribers one of your locomotives. Well, I'm not agreeing to that condition, but yeah, no, I need to get this thing. I need to get it done on time. You know what? I set a date. I do not want to disappoint myself and everybody else screwing it up. So yeah, I'm gonna try to see that through. But one piece at a time, right? Anyway, where did I put my engine? Oh, it's down here. That's what happens every time I reorganize something. I still think it's in its original location. When I go to find it, it's not there. Run the TGV Maha. Yeah, we should run the TGV. That would be cool. Let that thing go rip around the layout. Can you run your Sign Daylight steam locomotive? Sign Daylight. If you're talking about this one, I can. It doesn't run. Run the big boy, sure. There we are. S&P, it's been a while. Have you heard of the 2002 Walter/Athearn Florida passenger cars train collaboration called Tracks and Sand? I've never heard of that before. Ottawa, congrats on 4K. Thank you so much. I was pretty shocked by that the other day. What's your favorite train company? Canadian National. That's my favorite Canadian one. My favorite American one is BNSF. Oh, I just realized all those passenger cars are powered up. Gonna need to have a line to push them off. I mean, it's super cool that they're lit, but I'm gonna burn out the bulbs especially if I'm running trains at high speeds. Can you run 2 CN locos that you got from Etsy? I don't think I could run them together because the first one I bought doesn't have a coupler, I don't think. Yeah, it's got no coupler, no coupler pocket, so I can run that individually, but yeah. When will you finish your Varney 2882 Yellowstone you got? You could do a double header with your big boy. No set dates for that. It is a project I want to work on. I mean, I bought the thing, but I have been looking for parts, so that's about as much effort as I've been sinking into it. But just like with this table, focuses on the Hershey plant at the moment. There are still side projects, but those are on the back burner for this. So, because it has been a bit stagnant lately, so I want to get that rolling again. What's the biggest locomotive you can run on a small... What's the biggest loco you've ran on a small HO layout? Probably the Centennial. I mean, I haven't run... The smallest layout I ever had was this one before the extension was put in. But at the time it had 18 radius curves, which it was able to handle. I'll give Bachmann credit there. They did do a very good job designing it to make sure it could handle very sharp corners. It didn't even struggle that much, which is the crazy thing. So yeah, that was well done. But it looked really funny going around the 18 radius curves. Can you run the big boy locomotive? We've got a lot of requests coming in here right now. Sure. I know I was gonna run some passenger stuff like the TGV, but we'll put the big boy on first just because we've already got a freight train all set up. So yeah, can you please run the Australian loco? Okay, I think I already said I was gonna run the Australian loco, so we'll run the Australian loco followed by the big boy, and then we'll move that out of the way. We'll get the TGV or something like it out there, and yeah. Do you ever sell any of your locomotives? I don't think I've ever sold a locomotive in my life. I've given some of them away to kind of youngsters who were getting into the hobby. You know, I had some engines that I wasn't, too fond of, but they ran and everything like that. So, it's good. I'll hand them off to them and then they can go get started. So, yeah, that's about it. My River Rossi Big Boy fell off my model layout. I was lucky nothing broke. I went and bought plexiglass for the side of the layout today. Wise decision. So far, the plexiglass, I don't think has stopped any crashes here, but if ever the Acela tried to go for a flight, I'd hope that it would stop it. I have to stretch the meaning of the word hope there. I honestly wonder if it will do it again someday. Hopefully not. Chantel Moner, hi from Lepesh. Oh, we got a Lepesh viewer in here. SMT, why don't you just go ahead and build it during a live stream? I mean, I could. It's not terribly. I mean, seeing it evolve is exciting in my book, but the actual process of building it, I think, like, to me, it's a labor of love, but I feel like it would be very dull to most people. Like, it's really time-consuming to build, even in small parts. Like, the other night I was on a Discord call while I was building this. I was probably on that call for 3 hours, and it took about probably 4 in order to build this part. Just that one little sheet of material. So, and that's the case for most things, because there's just so many little details that have to be cut, and then they have to be, you know, painted, and then all glued together. It's not like a kit, you know. I have to make the parts as well and paint them. So, yeah, I don't know. I just wouldn't want to bore everybody with that. How's the N-scale layout doing? I can buy a locomotive. It will just take a long time to ship. The N-scale layout is doing well. Haven't done much on it, but it's it exists. At least I got at least it functions somewhat well now. When I bought that new track, I probably only spent like 20 bucks on all that new track. Probably one of the greatest investments I've ever made. It really did improve it. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Anyway, let's run this one. I forgot, this thing derails in this direction. I have to replace some of the switches. It's not the locomotive, but I've got some bad switches that I think need to be adjusted. If you could only keep 5 of your locomotives, which would you keep and why? That would be really tough. Probably the Hiawatha. I don't think I could part ways with that one. It's just got so much history. I would probably say the Bullet Nose. I don't know. This is a terrible decision to make, honestly. Hopefully it just won't happen. It's like, got so many that have got so many memories in them, frankly. Trying to, I don't know, cut the top 5 out would be great. Hey, if you can't find a kit, build it from scratch. That's the way to go. Yeah, there's something like that being applied to this project. This material is expensive too, though. Oh, just to buy the little strips of plastic, you get 10 strips of plastic. You know, probably only cost them a few cents to make, and they cost $6, which seems like an awful lot for just strips of plastic, but it saves me the time, and they look a lot better than having to buy sheets of plastic and then make the strips myself, because I've tried to do that. It's even harder than pretty much building this, so just to get them the right size. Greetings from Cleveland, Ohio, USA. Here to say, you rock, you crazy Connect. Thank you, American Saxon. ATC Cool Boy, can I have a shout out? I'm 10 away from 150. Absolutely. Everybody go check out ATDCC Cool Boy. Anyway, I think we're going to now run the big boy, because this one keeps shorting out on my switches for whatever reason. SMT, I heard on a TV show a tornado is coming August 2nd in Eastern Ontario, so stay alert. Yeah, I don't know what part. Ontario's a pretty big place. I don't know whereabouts that'd be going through. What type of couplers do you use? I'm building an HO scale layout, and I have an Athearn F59PHI HO scale and a Bombardier. The coupler is broken on the F59PHI. I just use the Bachmann Easy Mate couplers. They're the cheapest option, and they work okay, I find. You know, you can install them on a lot of different things. I'm not sure I'd recommend them because they're very flexible, which is good. It means, you know, they're easily adjustable, but the problem is I find the they can kind of, when there's a lot of pressure on them, they flex and actually end up letting go of the rest of their train, which is annoying. So yeah, Katie's a brand that a lot of people seem to like. But I haven't bought Katie. I have equipment that has Katie couplers, but I haven't like gone out and actually ever bought a packet of Katie couplers. So yeah, I don't know how easy the installation process is. Probably not that hard. I'm starting a layout. Any tips? Yeah, okay, here, let me just get this set up and then I can go through. I want to make a new video actually for people getting into the hobby because I do have a lot of tips. But I'd say first and foremost, build the layout the way you want it, because there's a lot of people out there that are going to give you all sorts of different pieces of advice. Like, if you want to build a layout, yeah, you're going to need to pick a time, you know, a location, and all this other stuff, steam or diesel. And personally, unless you really like that stuff, like if you're the type of person that loves building something that's really, really accurate to a time period, you know, go right ahead with that. But otherwise, if you don't care about that stuff, take off without it. You don't need it. It just will end up being more frustrating. So that's it. Build the layout you want, not a layout just to appease some person. And take your time. Make a list of everything you want. That's another thing. Deciding exactly what you want. And this is not something anybody has to follow, but personally I found it very helpful. When you're actually building the scenery, do little 1 by 1 foot square areas with the scenery, and then you add detail until you're content, because I find if you try to take on the entire layout at once, it's almost a bit too much. So you get your track work down, but when you're working on the scenery, that's how I'd go about it. I'll personally be building a layout soon too. It's going to be focused around Ontario in modern times, the 80s and 90s. That's pretty cool. What happened to your daylight steam train? The wheels became unquartered and they're now binding. Okay, I thought that train looked short. I guess those other cars detached at some point. Luckily, the big boy wasn't going so fast as to ram it off the tracks here. I'm going to try something kind of shady here. Let's see if this works. Let me let the train go. Whoop. Harrison, oh, hold on. Nathan Delay says, Harrison, do you think some people that are in the hobby go overboard? What should happen, what should not? Yeah, I would agree with you on that, Nathan. Again, if you get enjoyment out of focusing on all the intricate details, like, you know, do that until your heart's content. But what I don't like to see is, you know, on model railroading forums, when there's somebody getting into the hobby, they don't know a whole lot about what they're doing, and somebody just bombards them with all these, you know, complications. It's like already building the layout, you know, can be a bit overwhelming. So adding all those other things, to me, it's just too much. So, you know, build your first layout, you know, and see what you like and what you don't like. Because that's the other thing, too. The truth is, most people that build their first layout, after they're finished, they want to start all over again because they learned so much on the way. So don't fret too much about what you're building, because nothing's permanent, but make sure you're building what you want and not what somebody else suggests. SMT, run the powered crane from one of your early videos. I don't even know if that thing runs, honestly. I'm making a small layout based of a small town in southern West Virginia. That's fun. Make sure you can reach anywhere on your layout. That's probably a good piece of advice too. Although, one piece of advice I would have, and this is one of the things that I find I would have done if I was getting into the hobby today. I wish somebody had told me this. Get wider curves, because go for a layout that's about this wide, about 4 feet. I think this one's slightly over, because the 18 radius curves will bottleneck you if you want to get larger locomotives. So go with wider curves. That's always a plus. But yeah, I want to make a video on how to build your first layout. You know, from deciding what you want to buying the materials to actually putting the thing together. Just to kind of share, because there's a lot of advice out there that I've heard over the years, which is great. But I don't know. I think just be good if there was something that would hopefully make it kind of straightforward to people getting in the hobby. Also, kind of how to do it cheap too, because there's lots of strategies you can use to keep the cost down, because that's the other thing. The expense will go right through the roof if you don't play your cards right. Do you have a British locomotive? I do. I don't think any of them are working at the moment, though. SMT, buy an ant farm and put it on your layout. That would be a bit of an unusual addition. I told you about that wider curves. Now you believe me. Yeah, I know, but that wasn't when I was building the layout. That was in 2000. That wasn't when I was redoing the layout. That was in 2007 when I was building the layout. And nobody ever, told me or my dad at the time, hey, yeah, you should. I'd recommend going with the wider curves. And almost all of the online, because that's what this was built off of, this initial layout. It was one of those like online, pre-designed layouts, and almost all of them had 18 radius curves. And in retrospect, that was something that I really wish they hadn't suggested. Hey SMT, I have an old HO Lionel engine that doesn't run right. Any tips how to make it run great? It can be a whole variety of things, but some general tips to fixing anything is try to imagine what it would have been like when it left the factory, because everything, when it left the factory would have been pristine. So, in other words, when you open up a gearbox, would that gearbox be dirty or clean? It would be, clean and lubricated. Would the commutator be shiny? It'd be shiny. If there are any rusted parts, how would those look? And, yeah, provided you have everything clean, lubricated, yeah, basically clean and lubricated. As long as everything's cleaned, lubricated, and adjusted properly, almost any engine will run. Every engine's designed differently, but they almost all have the same principles. Can you run the Royal Blue? That one doesn't currently run. That thing's been, let's just say, special. But in any case, I do want to run the TGV because that was requested earlier. What if the people... don't understand. Nick the Trainer, not sure if you're aware, Harrison. We just got a tornado warning in the region. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah, somebody else mentioned that. Hopefully that's... not coming my way, but if the stream gets broken up, you'll all know why. But in any case, get the T. I mean, if there is a tornado coming through, here's the good news. I'm down here in the basement, and I think most safety things, they say if there's a tornado, you're supposed to run for the basement. So I guess in essence, I'm already one step ahead. Amen on expensive getting out of control if you're not careful. It really can. It's crazy. It's even worse now. Luckily, when I was younger, in 2007, building all of this, everything was much, much cheaper. Part of that was just because the Canadian dollar around 2007, 8, and 9 was faring really well. But the other thing is materials were just cheaper. I have an old Walters catalog from 2008, and I'm always stunned when I go through there just how much cheaper everything was. I know some people will argue inflation, but the truth is inflation doesn't really account for that much. It's mostly just companies upping their prices to make a bit more moolah. Can you run the loco that's always on the piece of track? Oh, that? Sure. We'll get this on first, though. When did you start building your own layout? It was 2007. It was 2007. My parents knew a carpenter in the area, so as a birthday gift, they got him to build this layout, and we got advice from my local hobby shop, and then me and my dad went on a website which had the original design, although it doesn't look too much like that anymore. And yeah, that's where it all began. I have photos of it back in 2008. It's pretty crazy how different it looked back then. And then the other layout, the more industrial layout, that one's roughly from... It's from 2012. That's when I built it. Although I have a little bit more pride. This is my favorite layout, but I have a bit more pride in this one because I actually designed the whole thing when I was about 11, and I'm still content with it. So yeah, that one turned out just fine for itself. Anyway. Marine Rail Fan, hello. In fact, can you run the Wakefield train? We can run the Wakefield train a little bit later. Yeah, I think some people have requested it, but sure. Tornado, SMT. I'm 4 parallel universe ahead of you. Harrison, question, can you try to recreate the 405? I don't think I'd do something like that. Please run an Amtrak. I don't have any Amtrak train. I've got Amtrak locomotives, but I don't have any Amtrak passenger cars. What's your favorite locomotive? What's your first locomotive? It's sort of difficult to say because I actually started off with about 4. Because this is the thing. The first locomotive I was ever kind of exposed to was one of my dad's old trains, but the first one that was mine was a lifelike. It was a lifelike locomotive in a train set, but I had received 2 locomotives the night before because it was Christmas Eve and I was at my grandparents' house, and that was the Bachmann 260 and an old Walters Via locomotive. I don't know which one I opened up first. It might have been the Via. So I guess technically my very first engine was a Walters Via engine. But I don't know. I find that whole thing is sort of blurry. What was your first train set? Oh, well, that would be the lifelike train. I can't really. I think it was the Thunder Mountain. Is that what it was called? I don't know. I don't know why this started running all slow. That's funny. Oh boy, do we have a short? Oh boy. I don't know what would have caused that to happen. Now it went away. Weird. So yeah, the first, it was a lifelike set. I think it was Thundering Mountain. It had a CN locomotive and a few odd pieces of rolling stock. I'm not sure if this is the TGV acting up and causing a short, or if there's actually something the matter. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if, for example, one of these derailed cars was maybe the cause. I don't think it was the Thunder rails. I don't know. I'll have to check. Thunder. I think Lifelike might have reused some of the names multiple times, though. I could be mistaken. Can you run it at full speed? Sure. There we are. Looks like another repair. Yeah, I don't know if it's a layout problem or a TGV problem though. I don't know. This is a very simple train. I don't know why it. Yeah, I don't know why. See, now it's acting up again. I know one way I could tell. take the locomotive off the track and see if it's still shorted. Yeah, it is. Okay, so the problem's somewhere else. It's not the TGV. DB Tech, welcome! Hello, Harrison. Watching you on a Raspberry Pi in the train room. Oh, Raspberry Pi, that's the name I haven't heard in a while. I own one of those. I should probably bring it down here, try to use it for the layout. Yeah, I'm suspicious that that short is one of these cars, so I'm just going to set them all on the track here. We'll see if that's where the short's coming from. Caleb Irwin, hey, SMT, fact about the Western Maryland Railroad. They would put a helper locomotive per every 10-15 cars, Black Fork grade or something like that. That's interesting. What British locomotives do you have in classics? Because if you want parts, you can only get in England. I don't know. They're both Triangs. I had one. It was a Triang 060. And one of them, the wheels have become out of gauge. The other one, what happened was it was during a live stream. I tried to run it, and the motor just burned up. A whole bunch of smoke came out of it. I don't know if it's destroyed. It could have just been something burning on the commutator. I still don't exactly know. But yeah, either way, that's it. And then I've got all my grandmother's old locomotives, but I couldn't run most of those anyway because a lot of them are AC, so they won't function with what I have, because I've got 2 rails. So even if I had an AC controller, I still couldn't run them. Anyway, there. Let's see if that remedied the short. Having no luck getting my comments read. Yeah, if anybody's comments aren't getting read, don't. Yeah, I try to read everybody's comments, but there's organization that goes on beyond my control there. So I hope I'm getting everybody's comments, but there's some. Do you use Code 100 track? I do. Honestly, I think it's the best kind. If you're trying to build a really realistic layout, it's probably not very realistic to use Code 100. Except maybe on a really active main line. But the truth is, if you want to run especially older locomotives, it's really the only option to go with, because some older engines have larger flanges, and if you have really small rails, the flanges will hit the ties, and it can be kind of annoying. May need a new motor. I don't know. Of course, with that engine, I could always try to rewind the motor. Although I haven't been terribly successful, because I don't know. I've successfully rewound some 3-poles, but I've never rewound a 5-pole. But I'm learning, so hopefully at some point I'll be able to fix those from the ground up. Blacksland Ridge 3, Harrison. Yo, Harrison, I just wanted to say thanks for the sub. It was quite a surprise. Glad you enjoy my content. Oh, yeah, no problem. A lot of people want me to run the big boy. We already ran that one. Phoenix Smith, you should run the Acela at full speed on your loop railroad. On this? That's just asking for trouble. That thing's all 18 radius curves, and there's some really steep hills. It would definitely roll off that one. Linda Bailey, hey SMT, how's the N-scale layout doing? It's fine. You okay? You don't sound so good. I'm fine. The big boy is becoming a popular request. Maybe I'll run it again. I mean, if everybody really wants it that much, I don't know. I just find it's kind of funny because it's already been run. Might be better to run something else. I think it's Thunder Rails. How many cars did it have? It had a tanker car, a hopper. I don't know if it was a hopper. It's not a flatbed. It's like kind of a... Oh, gee. Let me find one. certainly had a boxcar too. Yeah, I don't know. I think I might have been sent one the other day. I could try to find one of those. Yeah, there's one little number like this. Can you run some LNN? Oh, we can try the only LNN engine I have, though, is the switcher, and that thing is in questionable condition. Hey SMT, with the AC Locos Pico, do little 3-rail additions to your track, like little bits that stick out and plug into normal track, possibly worth considering? I haven't heard of that before. That's good to know. I don't know if they would work though, because they're part of the Trix twin railway system, and that had quite thick rails. Gold Markland might be able to work, but I don't know. Yes, shipping is slow. I think that USPS is using a mule to send packages to Canada. Yeah, everything's been taking forever to arrive here. Yeah, I'm not. USPS has not been the most impressive company. I think I'm Team FedEx at this point, because I find FedEx, you order something, they kind of just deliver it. They don't seem to complain, but I find every time I order something through USPS, there's always some sort of problem that they need to contact me about, and it's starting to grind my gears a bit. It was really weird. I don't know what happened, but somebody wanted to send me an engine to repair, so they did it, and then they said, oh, bad news, it's stuck at the border, you need to pay some fees. So I go on the site, I try to pay the fees, but they wouldn't let me do it because it was their address that was put in, so they defaulted that to the billing address, and when I tried to click to edit the billing address so I could put my address in to pay the fees, they wouldn't let me. They'd bring me right back around to the same place. So there was that problem, and then we basically concluded it was going to get sent back. And nobody ever paid those fees, and then a week later it arrived in the mail. So I'm thankful it arrived, but I don't understand what happened exactly. So yeah, there's some weird stuff going on there. What's the minimum track curve you'd recommend? I mean, it really depends what you're doing, but for mainline, I wouldn't go anywhere lower. I would do 22 radius or above for the mainline. Because on all my kind of side tracks, these are all 18 radius, which is okay because, you know, I don't have to run the big boy or any other large engines on these little side tracks. But for the main line, it's nice having wider curves that you can run larger pieces of equipment on. You'll have less derailments and stuff too. I just find it really does make running trains a little bit more enjoyable. Casey Hudson, I still haven't received my Etsy Loco yet. I don't know how fast. The first one took like a month to get here. The other two only took like a week, so I don't know. Probably depends on a whole bunch of things. Anyway, let's get this thing off the main line there, and then we'll run some other stuff. There we are. Can you run a P42DC? I guess so. Run the cursed Loco. Oh boy. Yeah. So a lot of people have been requesting LNN. So try to find my LNN engine there. Huh. I cannot see it. Yeah, I don't know what that is. So yeah, SMT, do you like RC cars? I haven't had a whole lot of experience with them, but yeah, they're fun. The Acela, hi from France. Welcome. Well, I guess people want me to run the Acela. I'll try to run. If I can find the LNN, I'll do it. But yeah, run the cursed. You can't even connect the big boy and the Acela together. The Acela doesn't even have couplers. It's got some weird fancy system there. SMT, I'm sending you a lot of Tyco 1776 locomotives and Canadian as well. Lots of rolling stock. Really? Wow. Thank you. I heard in Arizona there was a park with small trains that you couldn't ride, and they have a huge layout. Yeah, I've heard of a few of those. I don't know if it's the same one, but they look like fun. You need to go max speed. I think in a previous live stream I did go max speed, and it actually didn't jump the rails. Uh-oh, it's shorted again. I'm getting suspicious that the problem is some... Yeah, that's really strange. Huh. Something seems to be shorting around here, but I have no idea what it would be. Can you run the River Aussie Berkshire? Both of the Berkshires are not functioning right now. In the previous live stream, I tried to run the operational one, and it ended up losing a bolt, which I still haven't found. So that on one of the drivers, so that's gone. And then the other one has some sort of a gearbox problem, so I'll need to figure out how to fix that up. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't run those until I get that fixed up. Can you please run the display? Yeah, you know what? I did say I was going to run that one earlier, so we'll run that next. Anyway, just because everybody would love to see this, we're going to run the Acela full speed, okay? Here, watch this. Boom. Full power. Not again. That's really weird. I have no idea what and it happens right around this part. Switch gone bad? I don't know. And there it goes. Weird. Hey, SimT, would you like it if I bought... Whoop, missed that comment there. About some N-scale stuff. If you want to send something, sure, but no pressure. Check the 8. I don't think it is the New Haven locomotives. They're not even sitting on the track. They're all derailed. Like, if they were over the rails, maybe they could cause a short, but it would really surprise me if one of them was. Can you run the daylight? That one doesn't run so great, or it doesn't really run at all sometimes. Anyway, let's get this little number on. This thing's a speedy thing. All right, then. Yeah, it's not starting. Oh, yep, there it goes. Just a little bit of power. Yeah, there we go. You don't have any Dutch trains, do you? I don't think I have any Dutch trains. Do a double header. It's pretty fast for a locomotive that's only being fed about 5 volts of power. I'd hate to see what would happen if I ever brought that thing up to about 20 volts. That would be overdrive, I think. Anyway, we'll put that one back. Falls off a layout. Can we run a Eurobeat locomotive of your choice? The Athearn RDC? Sure. I'm pretty sure I might have tried to run the Athearn RDC in a previous live stream, and I'm pretty sure I discovered it had some sort of a problem. So, yeah, okay. I can only see there's 3 out of 4 bands, so there's that. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there was something off about this, which shouldn't surprise me considering how rough it's run. Yeah. I think those bands are shot, so future jobs, restoration live time. I'm gonna have to do one of those again. I don't think that people hear singing. What the heck? Anyways there, Amtrak, please. Sure. Let's just find this. Run the Go Transit. Yeah, we could get that. The Go Transit, I don't think it's been run in a while, so yeah. Run the streetcar. Phoenix did request that, eh? We'll just put them both on. It will be fine. I mean, that is probably going to go about 10 times faster than the streetcar, but... Oh! That's interesting. They're both, they're wired opposite, so... Why did this go off there, too? The switch didn't even open. I don't know how that happened. Old Bachmann engines. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna have to switch the direction here before they both bump into each other. Run the trolley, running it. Yeah, I think we'll take that one off and we'll get the trolley off the main line and we'll get something else on. We cry for... If I could find the LN engine, I'd run it, but I don't know where it is. The LNN is top of the shelf. SMT, you need a sound system in your basement that plays Glenn Miller's song, In the Mood, at the same time as you run the New Haven units for the epic experience. Yeah, not bad, Casey. Anyway, somebody's told me that the... Might be on the... Yeah, I don't think it's up there. Oh, it is. It's not on the top shelf, but it is kind of. Rascal is. This thing is not in good shape. I'll just to be completely transparent. I don't think it's gonna start, but you never know. Maybe it will. Giving it power, it's not going. Let's try the other. Oh. There we are. Let's try. Yeah. Talk about an efficient locomotive. Uh-oh. Yeah, let's try. I don't know how much more we're going to get out of that engine. I do think, though, we might have to derail the Santa Fe cars because they're definitely consuming a lot of power. Let's try this one last time if we can get it to go. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to burn out the motor, I think, if I keep that up. Oh, yes. Can you try running some British locos if it's an 060 of the LMS? I mean, I can try running that green one, but I'm not terribly confident it's actually going to go. Anyway, there's that. Now I just need to find that British engine I have. I'd give this making a full loop on the layout without any trouble about a 10% chance. SMT needs to organize the shelf. The top could be Bachmann, the next shelf could be Athearn, etc., etc., etc. They're vaguely organized by type. Most of the F units are on their own shelf there. It is running. I think it had some derailment issues, though. Let's see. White's workbench. Hello. Yelling at me. Yeah, I don't know. That engine, the hobby shop turned down. And then I was able to get it running, but I don't know. There might have been a reason why they decided not to. Yeah, I think that's about as much as we'll get out of this. Run your dream engine. We can run this, maybe we'll run the Swedish one, final train of the stream. Can you run one of your older locomotives? We can run the 7-pole Varney, which has a boiler cap now. You run the diesel daylight with the coaches. Sure. Oh boy. This thing should go okay, I think. Despite how it looks, this is actually not a bad runner. And it's got a boiler cap now. This thing's so fancy, I don't think I've ever worked on anything quite this nice. It does have a great drive system, though. I'll say that. Oh, boy. It was running a lot better last time. I don't know what happened. Maybe the wheels oxidized. And give it a little bit more power. I don't want to give this thing too much, though, because it is an older engine there. So, what do you think about Frank Sinatra's music? I like it. I think he was a very good artist. That's an older engine. That does not run as well as I remember. I think I need to do some work on it. Can you run a New York Central F unit? Well, I'm going to run the daylight set first because that was requested, and then we'll try to run some other things there. Those old 4-car diesel units for the train Hero Express in the Netherlands in the 70s sent off to Canada. I haven't heard of that. All right. Now I just need to find the locomotive, which I believe is on, yes, here it is. And it's the powered one. Great, we're in luck. Run a switcher or the tram car. We can do that. Before I forget, I'm going to realign the switch so that we don't derail the whole thing. Anyway there, trammer switcher. I'll run this little Pennsylvania unit. Shorted again. Oh. Okay, that time it might have actually been for a legitimate reason. I do find it a bit strange that the locomotive went that way, though, and the switch seems okay. I think I'm going to get rid of this switch. There's something off about it. And that's derailed again. The wheels have got to be out a quarter on this thing. Yeah, look, the switch is still aligned, but the locomotive is gone. Very, very odd. SMT, you may need to replace all of your switches. These ones are good. They're brand new and they've got metal frogs, so those should last a good long time. It's the older ones with the plastic frogs. What's actually happened is they physically worn down from being used so much. You can see there's that little dent right there, and what happened is I think the wheels just over time have just worn that right down. So now they're not guiding the flanges properly, so that's the case with that. It's certainly getting worse now, though, so it's a problem I'm going to have to fix probably in the not so distant future. Anyway, there's that. Now we're gonna run a switcher, which I've already pulled up here. Let's do a little experiment. We'll see if we can get some freight cars behind this. I'm not very optimistic. These are not good pullers. They're good runners. They're reliable, but they're not good pullers because these are only a two-wheel drive. Makes them really easy to maintain because it's not a whole lot needs to get lubricated, but a two-wheel drive engine, which doesn't even weigh that much to begin with, is never going to have very good pulling capacity. So we'll see. I doubt it could even pull this little, whatever it is, 5-car consist. Oh, apparently, well, yeah, I can't. I'll take off the last 2 cars. They're heavy, so hopefully that's enough. There we are. Do double header. Oh, sure. Well, it looks like it's going to need one. I don't even know why it disconnected. That. All right. There's maybe some coupling height problems. Lone Wolf Rail Fan, hello. There we go. Okay, yeah, there's something wrong with that coupler, all right. Okay, I think I've got it fixed. All right. Double-headed train. This should be good. In fact, now that we've got a double-headed consist, we can probably add those heavy cars, because now instead of having 2 driving wheels, we've got 4. There we go. Please run an NYC Hudson. I don't think I have any in functioning condition at the moment. Jack's Productions, hello. SMT, is that the Bachmann E5 track cleaner? The what? I don't know where that would be. I don't think I ever went out and bought a Bachmann track cleaner. You're gonna run the NYC F unit. I haven't. Well, I don't know if it's an F unit. I do have a Alco of some kind. Like this. Or at least CN. SMT, how do Bachmann and Analog use the same type of track? Well, Analog is a type of power. Bachmann's just a manufacturer. You can mix almost any brands, but like Bachmann DC controllers, those are analog controllers. I was gonna buy that one. It was a model power, but I went with the 040 River Aussie seen in the video. Yeah, these are okay. It's funny though. They were kind of like one of the last products Model Power was selling before they went out of business, and I was pretty shocked. I was in a train store in it was Barrie, Vermont, and that little CN one right there, you see, it was selling brand new for $20. I've never seen a switcher so cheap, and it was brand new, like right from the factory. They had a whole bunch of them. Great little deal for an engine. I've never seen one quite like that before. I would have flipped out if they had those when I was younger. They probably did. I might have just not been aware of them. But yeah, it was a great deal. So I paid 20 bucks, and then the Pennsylvania one, I found that at Larkspur, and I recognized the drive, so I was like, okay, well, it's not a terribly expensive engine, so let's see what the guy at the counter wants. And he only wanted $4 Canadian, which I don't know what that's even worth in America, but $3 maybe. I don't know. Really cheap engine, which is great because it runs for a $3 engine. This is a really good runner, but they're not great pullers. Will you be on the OVR show tonight since they have new product announcements? I think I'm going to be out and about unfortunately. Wait, I see 2 Hiawatha's now. Where did the other one come from? It's so fun. A lot of people don't know that I have 2. I've had them both for a long time. The first one is obviously the Rivarossi Hiawatha. I think most people know the story. If you don't, it was basically my grandmother's that I tried to fix. But the other one I got as a Christmas gift from my parents because I really wanted a Hiawatha, and I was very unsuccessful at the time with getting the Rivarossi one running. So yeah, that's what I got. So it's that one. The one on the left is a Fox Valley Hiawatha, and then the one on the right is my grandmother's Rivarossi Hiawatha. So I find it interesting seeing them side by side, though. You can really compare what basically 50 years of involvement equals in model railroading. I'm putting a DCC decoder in my Athearn F7. That's cool. Have you seen CN Red Rocket from the 50s? I have not. Anyway, we're going to exchange both of these for my DCC New York Central engine there. So I'll just take both of those off. King of Rail Fanning, welcome. The Bachmann track cleaner in the box. I don't know that most recent Etsy haul had that weird little track cleaning sponge, which was nice. Crazy Trains channel, hello. But yeah, I know nothing about it. A lot of people have been telling me not to use it, which I don't really see the difference between that and my Pico one, but maybe there is. Anyways, there. Doesn't seem to be responding to that. Does it even have a road number? Okay, let's just quickly reprogram this. I don't even know if I remember how to program a locomotive on this controller. Let's see, direct steps CV8 to a value of 8. Okay, I think that does a decoder reset, so if I'm right about that, then this should now be set to 3. Serenity! It worked! Yes, it is a sound engine. This was the very first DCC sound engine I ever got. My family, it was 2013, just before Christmas, and me and my family were in New York, and we went to this hobby shop in New York City. It's weird because I guess, because property on the ground level is worth so much. It was a hobby shop on the 8th floor of like a building. And yeah, I found this thing in there, and it was kind of cool because it's, the New York Central, so it's kind of supposed to be a thing as a souvenir of the trip. The track cleaner car just kind of dumps alcohol on the track, but a cool engine. Oh, is that what that weird rail maintenance vehicle is? That thing's cool. I wasn't aware that it had that feature, though. Yeah, I know the time. I have a few cars that can do that. You fill them up with alcohol, and it's supposed to go down to some cleaning pad and clean the track. I've never found those things to be all that effective, but it's kind of interesting. What great sound. The horn is pretty loud. I'll give Bachman credit. I don't even know if that's its loudest setting, too. Let's see, what I forget what the bell sounds like. Not bad. It's the box you got from Josh. Okay, yeah, it's that other one. You need to get a passenger car consist for the Hiawatha. I have one brass car for the Hiawatha, which I only paid $40 for. Was it called the VCH Hobby Shop? I can't remember really much about it. I mean, this was almost... it was 2013. I don't know, it was like 7 years ago. But the... yeah, I can remember it was a hobby shop. I think it was on the 8th floor of a building. It was definitely not on the 1st floor, I can tell you that. And I think it had a European layout inside of it, if I'm not mistaken. Which might have been the German Alps or something, I don't know. They'd had a European layout, it might have had a small American layout, and yeah, they had a lot of glass shelves filled with all sorts of different locomotives. A lot of fun getting to go there. Hunter G, for the record, your grandmother's Hiawatha is selling for $3,500 on eBay. Yeah, they're worth a pretty penny there. This one's probably not, because it's not in mint condition. The ones that are going for like $3,000 are ones that are pristine. But yeah, it's also eBay prices. They're not, on the market really worth as high as that, but it's impressive that people are putting them up there for that much. There was one going the other day. I never saw what the bidding got up to, but there was one on eBay, and it was 2 days before it was over, and people are already bidding $450 for it. So I don't know how high that got, but yeah, they're not terribly common as it would turn out. The Canadians even demolished the Workspore motor cars. The Canadians, I think some people did. I don't identify with them. Do you have any Kato engine to run? There's that one. SMT, can you stop Phoenix from abusing the text-to-speech on Discord? Okay, I think Phoenix is in here right now. Phoenix, don't go overboard with the text-to-speech. It's apparently annoying people. SMT, how big is this layout and how much did it cost? I don't care if you don't know. Yeah, I definitely can't. Yeah, I don't know the exact dimensions. I think it's over 4 feet wide by about 2 inches, so it's about 4'2", I think. I don't know what the length of it is. I think it's... I have a measuring tape down here. I might be able to do some crude measurements if I have it, but... yeah, the measuring tape's gone. I can't remember the exact length of it. 17 feet comes to mind, but I'm not sure if that's true. Forget what the dimensions of that one are. I don't know. It's a common question. How much did it cost? I have no idea. So many dollars spent over the span of, well, 12 years, so it makes it quite tricky to track. It is VCH Hobby Shop. That's cool. Evan's Train Tube. Yes, Arnie's the original whistle shop. And there was actually a YouTuber that has some track cleaning tip that says alcohol is not a good one. Not sure why. Yeah, alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Here's the thing. Rubbing alcohol it's very, very gentle. But it won't remove oxidization. It will remove oils and stuff, because that's a lot of what gets on your track, you know, little carbon deposit, maybe some lubricants that get on the track and stuff like that. So the alcohol will remove that, but it will not remove the oxidization. In fact, it will make it worse because the alcohol has water in it. So yeah, that's why not everybody likes it. That's why those little track cleaning sponges are good, because they'll scrape off the oxidization. But the track also has antioxidant layers, and if you use those on it, it will scrape those off, and then it will oxidize faster. So that's why a lot of people put things like OxGuard on their track. I've never used any of that stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It's all fine-tuning. I like the DCC sound it makes. It's a real New York Central. I don't know if it's authentic to this engine, but the sounds are enjoyable. I do like them. Can you run a German train? Well, the only one I have is the little one I bought off Etsy a few days ago, but I don't want to run that one too much because it's not in terribly good shape. Get a cleaning rubber if you want to properly clean it. Well, I call them track cleaning sponges. I don't know what the technical term is for them. I have one around here somewhere that I always like to use. But yeah, mine's from Pico. But they, yeah, it's like one of these. Track erasers. It's got to be a proper name for them. I've probably heard it before. They were planning to build a new powered car with an engine of a scrap plan. SMT, please run the BNSF ES 4400 on the siding and the con rail. Please get NerfCat. I don't know where NerfCat is, so I don't think I'll be able to do that. I can run the Kato engine, though. I never understood why the Hiawatha is such a coveted locomotive. They're not very common, so I think that's... I mean, they're really beautiful-looking engines. I think that's why. They're nice. They're, I think, fastest steam locomotive in America, too, so they have some clout. But the thing is that the Rivarossi ones, I think, are quite rare, so I think that's why those ones are so valuable. No idea what the Fox Valley one is worth. It's probably not as much, even though it's way more prototypical. But it doesn't have that classic factor, so I guess that's why. SMT, do you have an email or Gmail? Because I'd like to send you a locomotive and or rolling stock and some things to you. Yes, I have a Gmail. It's scrumptiousmodeltrains@gmail.com. You can find that on my About section. You click this button. It says, like, email for business inquiries. And, yeah, if you want to send me an email on that, I'd be happy to respond. A lot of emails have been coming in lately. I apologize if anybody sent one and I haven't responded yet. I am trying, but, yeah. Do you have a Discord? Yes. Phoenix Smith, if he's in here right now, is actually the person who pretty much runs that server, so hopefully he could post a link for you. So I don't know, a lot of people ask me how to get to the Discord server. I'm not very knowledgeable on Discord. I mean, I think the server's... I can't remember the name of it. Anyway. I thought that's what it was programmed to. Maybe it's not. Okay, so I put in 2649. It's 4926. Team dyslexia, folks. You take numbers that are correct and you put them backwards. All right. Get the headlight going there. Sirens and Railroads of Oklahoma, welcome. Ottawa Model Railfan, who said that Phoenix Smith was abusing the text-to-speech. I agree, and I tried to ban him. I thought they'd be able to do it because it was a Camelback. I don't know. Can you please send a train through the tunnel? Well, I could. I'd have to get the those three cars somewhere else, though. Here, I've got an idea. I was talking about the Ram T, which was sold Canada as a Northern, which the motor cars got scrapped and replaced by F7s. Ah. Mr. BNSF Train, you're live early. Yeah, no, don't usually do streams at this time, but it's raining outside. I have nothing else, so hey, why not go run some trains and get to talk with everybody. Anyway, let's... Okay, I just realized my plan is a bit flawed. So what we're going to do is we're going to launch those down there. Realign the switch. And well, that part of track looks kind of questionable. Yeah, at least get that little bush off of it so it doesn't get sucked into the gears. Yeah, the train will go over that just fine. Anyway, somebody wanted to see the factory. Nova Scotia rail fan. Here it is. There's a bit of a gap there. It's going to all slide over, obviously, but at least getting this part done. Anyway, let's see if this thing will go through here without derailing. This should be interesting. Guess there's no power in that section of the track. It didn't short. This track status is still on, but weird. Oh, as it would turn out, there are cars in the tunnel. Huh. Strange. Good morning from Australia. Oh, welcome, Angus Kelly. Why is it called Scrumptious Model Trains? Well, the first part of that name may have ties with something that wasn't ever related to this channel. Certain chocolate factory. But, yeah, I don't know. I know it's a bizarre name. That might have been intentional, though. This is strange. I don't know why there's no power in this section of track. I honestly had no idea. Hey, Harrison, love the content. Can you please put together and run some CNGVOs together? Got some old Dash 9s I could put together, probably. Oh, so, I guess they're... Okay, well, there's something off there. Can you run the Broadway Limited switcher? Sure, we'll have it pull this nice little daylight train. All right, then. Do you watch Glenn and Friends Cooking on YouTube? I can't say I've heard of them. It's 11:13 here. Oh. She ran Norfolk Southern. The old Hershey factory is now known as Tweeds. Yeah, that Hershey factory's got some interesting history. I mean, I'm very happy with how it turned out. It's now basically more prosperous than ever. The new company that's in there has hired, I think 2,500 people, which is way more than Hershey had. I think at their peak they had 700 people working at that plant. So it's a great next chapter, especially considering in 2013 they almost demolished the entire plant. And that would have been the end of that. But certainly, if anybody wants to know what happened to it, just search up Hershey Smith Falls. And you'll find out soon enough exactly what they're making there now. It does have chocolate. Just mixed with something else. Do you have an F59 PHI? Can you run it? Don't think I have one. Anyways, no idea what this is programmed to. Okay, full speed, folks. I will just say this. Broadway Limited, I think, makes the slowest locomotives on the planet. This is full speed for this engine. Oh dear. Daylight coaches are beautiful. They really are. Daylight, Southern Pacific had a great scheme. Run the Lily putt. I'll run the Wakefield train at the very end of the stream, I think. Well, the Broadway Limited appears to have abandoned its coaches once again, so we're just going to run the train backwards here, and then we'll run something else. Just curious, do you have any Ontario Northland locomotives? I think they had a cool-looking paint scheme. They do have a cool-looking paint scheme. I only own one. It's an old Lifelike, but I can certainly run it. Please run a train of Dash 9s together. We could... Gee, I don't even know if it would work, because I've got the dummy engine, but the other one fell off of the shelf here, so it broke the wheels right out. Now... so I've got one that's working, but I don't know if it has the same couplers as the dummy engine, because the dummy engine has horn hooks. Is a Broadway Limited locomotive like that worth 120? I think it's worth more. It's probably worth like $200. The numbers might be inflated because I'm in Canada, where things are worth about 30% more because you know, our dollar's just not worth as much. So take off 30%, and that's, I think, what it's worth. But it is a sound-equipped engine, and that you pretty much take the price of any locomotive and add $100 if it's sound. So it's about the value of a sound decoder, roughly, here at least. Anyway, we'll get the Ontario Northland one out there. Don't know where the other CN is. Huh. This thing is so slow. It's not even funny. Let's give it some more power here. It's probably very prototypical. I mean, I can't imagine these switchers were terribly fast in real life, but frankly, I kind of like them being able to go faster. Nick, I'd assume somebody capped the speed programming on the CVs are able to adjust to top speeds. That could be, oh boy. That could be true, but I don't know. One of the guys at the Model Train Club, who I was learning with, he said, I've got two engines you can run. One's a Broadway Limited, and the other one's a Proto engine. And he was like, the Broadway is very slow. And frankly, I really like Proto, so I was like, I'll go with the Proto one to learn. So maybe his has the same thing. Maybe the CVs are just capped, but I don't know. I'd imagine if it was bugging him, he would have already adjusted it. So, but you never know. I think the folks at Broadway Limited just thought it'd be funny to make a really slow engine. Anyway, there. Let's get the Ontario. We'll have the Ontario Northland diesel. This is going to look really weird, but we're going to have it pull this train. Why are those not letting go? Weird. Hey, Harrison, love the content. Could you please run the Dash 9s together? I wish I could. I don't know where the first Dash 9 is, though. The second one's a dummy, which might not even be able to couple up to it, and the third one's broken, so... And I need the running one to power, to go with the dummy, because the dummy obviously can't power itself, so unless I ran it with a different locomotive, it's currently impossible. Run a locomotive from one of your most viewed videos. Well, funny enough, too, that's also one of the most popular ones. Ever heard of the Clinchfield Railroad? The name sounds familiar, but I don't think I know anything about it. I don't know what's going on channel. Welcome. Hey, Harrison, maybe your Bachmann GS4... Maybe the Bachmann GS4 doesn't run on... I mean, I wish I could have it pull the coaches. That would be great. It would be a nice combination, but that thing... yeah, I need to fix it. Okay, I took off the car that had a knuckle coupler because I didn't realize that this old Lifelike, which I bought secondhand, actually also has a knuckle coupler. How do you spell the type of train? For me, it sounds like Mahano. Well, it's M-E and then H-A-N-O. I think it's an Italian. Or no, sorry, it's not Italian. It's what would have been Slovakian. I don't know. Complicated history. Anyway, now I've lost the passenger car, which I need to run this train. Where did I put it? Do you have 844, 40? I have 4449, but it doesn't run. Can your Bachmann steam engine daylight? Yeah, well, the problem, the daylight can theoretically move. It's just it's binding, which is a really bad thing. So if I force it to do that, I'm going to end up... It's DCC, so I'm either going to end up burning out the decoder or, even worse, the motor. So I just don't want to take that risk. Anyways, we'll get this going. Hey Harrison, I have some Burlington Northern heavyweights. None of my trains can pull. I was wondering if you would take the heavyweights. See if your engine can pull some. If you want to send them, sure. Great. It was in the box. Hey SMT, I recently got an Athearn Blue Box SD40-2 Canadian National Livery. Nice. Can you please run the Canadian Pacific GEVO. Well, I think I've got a few... maybe the Canadian Pacific -9s would all work together. I don't know. I don't even know how many I own. I've got this one. I could probably mix it up. Oh, it doesn't have a coupler on it. Dang it. I also got this one, but... although being another Athearn, this one's in really awful shape. Yeah, I don't know. I can run one, but I don't think I can run them all together. The Daylight Scheme is my favorite library. They're really, really cool. That runs good. Yeah, I know. A lot of people say the old Lifelikes never ran that great. The biggest thing with them is you have to make sure the wheels are clean because the brass wheels oxidize really, really quickly. But provided you've got that in check and, you know, all the obvious stuff, like it's lubricated properly, they can actually be decent runners for what they're worth. Do you have any Stewart/Bowser products? I do. I've got a main central Stewart locomotive. I've got a couple other Stewart engines, although I can't remember who they're by. And then I've got a few Bowser Century 630s in the older style Canadian Pacific paint scheme. Does your dummies coupler connect with cars? It's got a horn hook coupler. We could put it on this weird looking consist. I don't know. This is the first time I've actually ever put it on the track, so let's find out. Okay, the Santa Fe SD40-2. Have it on the shelf. Can you run it? Sure, because I think the Santa Fe SD40-2 is horn hooks, so it will go just fine with this. This might be the most bizarre looking train on the planet, but we have to find out if that dummy works. At least as a dummy engine. I mean, obviously it's not going to, like, run, but, you know, make sure it's not, like, derailing or something. Who knows? Everything needs to be adjusted right. So here's the, it does have horn hooks. Good. SMT, what's your opinion on Hornby models? Do you have any? I don't have any modern Hornby stuff, so I couldn't really say. The old Hornby trying stuff, a lot of that was actually pretty well built, though. That's one thing I will say. Anyway. Let's get this going here. So we'll put the dummy engine behind it. Did I bring the dummy engine over to the shelf? What the heck? I had it in my hand. I don't know where I placed it. on the road. I have a converter for my car mix of Tyco cars and then regular ones with Katie/Bachmann. Well, that's what's going on here. So I've got horn hook, knuckle, and then in this case, these engines both have horn hooks, so I'm gonna have to remove the conversion car, but they can be good if you have a mix of equipment. So I've just spotted one thing earlier when I was talking about adjustments. You can see right there that coupler is riding just a little bit lower than it should be, so hopefully it won't do anything, but sometimes when a coupler's like that, it can snag on switches and cause some funny stuff to happen. Yeah, this is not going to work. These couplers are way off. I don't know what somebody did, but yeah, there's something wrong there. They're very loose. So yeah, I guess this thing is going to need some tuning after all. Anyways, then though, let's at least run that Santa Fe SD4-2. Hey SMT, maybe as like a meme or something, you could try to get an SP cab forward and put an F7A cab unit for the cab. I don't know if I was willing to spend the money to buy a cab forward. I don't think I would put a F unit front on it. I mean, it would be funny, but I wouldn't deface a locomotive that nice, especially if it was like a Rivarossi. Do you have any plans to expand the N-scale layout? I made this, I made the switch to N, and I'm pretty happy with all the extra space to run trains. I don't have any plans to expand the N-scale layout. I certainly want to improve it, but I don't know. I have other things to take care of. You know, SMT, I have a train wanted for a while as an 040 dock switcher with horn hook couplers. You know what? They're almost always great engines because they're so simple. First of all, you can usually find them really cheap, but also they're very reliable because there's just not a lot of moving parts. So you just have to lubricate a few things, keep only 4 wheels clean, and almost always those things will pretty much run forever. Do you have a coupler height gauge? I don't have a one of those. Actually, I do. It's right over there somewhere. I'll have to bring it over there, but it's for knuckle couplers. I don't think I've ever seen anybody use a height gauge for horn hook couplers. That would be kind of funny. DB Tech says, shout out policy if you're 10 or less away from 50, 100 subs. Yes, exactly. So if you're at like 40 something subs or 90 something subs or 140 something subs, you can get a shout out, but I'm asking for shout outs any other time. Do you have any Hudsons or EMD engines or any steam engines? I have, yeah, I've got a fair amount of steamers there, but gee, I think I do have a Hudson, but it might be the one that doesn't run all that great. SMT, will you make an HO N30 line on the layout? I don't know about on the layout. I've thought about buying some HO N30 though. That way I can run some a different scale of things on this layout. That might be kind of fun. It's gonna look weird, but Adventure Kid, I'm back. Welcome. That MILW is a Hudson. Oh. On eBay, there was a guy selling a Rivarossi collectible Big Boy Mallet Club forward, and a couple others. They were going for a huge price. Yeah, I mean, that's the case for most things with eBay. It's very, very rare you find something below the market value. I mean, I haven't got those GG1s yet, but I'm honestly wondering why they were going for so cheap, because for eBay, that was like a steal. Because almost with everything else on eBay, it's overpriced. The biggest thing on eBay, I don't know why shipping is so expensive on eBay, but I find almost everything on eBay costs an arm and a leg to ship. So, yeah, and sometimes it's for really small things. Like, you can find, like, I don't know, 5 knuckle couplers, and the shipping's, like, $30. It's like, how could that cost $30 to ship, you know? SMT, do you drink water? No, I don't like drinks. Yes, I drink water like everybody else does. Except my grandfather, he didn't like water. I'm not even joking. He would have like orange juice and stuff like that. He said water just doesn't taste that great. Not to be a Charles Dorr, not to be a judge or anything. But why don't you shove the logging layout over to the industrial layout instead of a bridge? That could probably work. The problem is mainly that beam, but I'm thinking of just filling in that space and just kind of making it all sort of one layout, just like there, so I may end up doing that. ON30 runs on HO, if I recall. Yes, exactly. HON30 is the same scale, different gauge. Well, then it would run on N scale track. That must be what the N stands for. I always mix them up. SMT, are you going to get more trains in the future? Well, yeah, if those eBay... I mean, I never like to, count things before I have them there, but if the eBay orders work out, then in the future I should be unboxing a couple GG1s and another New Haven E8. 7. Can you please run the Canadiana with cars? Yeah, we can do that. We'll run the Athearn one, though, because it's way more reliable than the Tychos. You're probably thinking of the F7 Hudson. SMT has an A-Class Atlantics. I wouldn't know. I'm not very knowledgeable on locomotive types, which is something I try to be quite honest about. So I'm confident I have Hudson engines. I'm not terribly knowledgeable on which ones they are. But in any case, there. Do you have any Canadiana with... I've got one Canadiana car. I think instead, though, we'll just run it with this. SMT got for the free shipping option. I don't know with I found most sellers. I don't know if it's different in the States, but it's very rare there's free shipping on stuff in my experience. I do find, the thing I do find really bizarre, though, and this is something I can't wrap my head around, is a lot of the sellers from China, which, halfway around the world from where I am, will charge very, very minimal amounts for shipping on items which don't cost that much either. Now, I know in China, you can get all sorts of things really cheap. It's just a very industrial kind of place with not a lot of regulation, but I don't understand why you can order little parts from China and they cost less to ship than they do from, let's say, Canada or the United States. There's something wrong there, that just doesn't make any sense, that somewhere that's geographically much further away would cost less to ship. Which a lot of people say the sellers don't pick the ship. I don't know if that's true or not. I still feel like people might be somehow using the shipping to price gouge. Something just seems off. Oh yeah, I think somebody told me the other day that the program for this is 2262. I guess not. Well, I was successful in resetting a decoder earlier in the stream, so why don't we just reset the decoder on this and we'll have it all running on DCC. Just like once was. The residents of Dunderville are getting frustrated by stop trains. Can you imagine how frustrating it would be? Half the town is locked off by road half the time. All right. Okay, I think it worked. You know, out of all of your videos and streams, I've never noticed that pole. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it sort of blends in, but yeah, I mean, if this wasn't here, I would have just put them right beside each other, but yeah, and I can't, if I try to, you know, reposition the layout, like if I wanted to move it kind of up here, it would be odd because it would kind of, it wouldn't be aligned. I could move the layout in and connect it somewhere here, but yeah, I don't really know how I want to go about that. I need to do something though, that what I've got set up there right now is useless. That thing's never worked right. All right. Can you run the Hiawatha? Sure. Just need to go fix the engine here. I don't know what happened. Build around the beam and make the beam look a giant sequoia. Yes, exactly. We'll have a giant tree in the middle of the layout. Maybe I could paint it up to look like a telecom tower or something like that. Or an evil castle could probably work too. I've already got the mountains around it. What is it in Lord of the Rings? They're heading to that place and there's that mountain with an evil castle on the top. I think there was something about that. Hunter D, I suspect they make the price of the items seem cheap by shifting the cost to the shipping. That's what I feel like they do, although I was saying that in a previous live stream, and a whole bunch of people were like, no, the sellers can't do that, but I don't know, like, I just find it weird. I've seen times, too, where there's, like, let's say, a Tyco engine, and it costs, like, $200 to ship, and it's in, like, New York. I mean, I know it has to cross over the border. That adds a lot to the price, but you know, why aren't the other Tyco engines that same, like, the shipping is just not consistent, so that's where I find it very kind of suspicious that the sellers are doing something strange. I was looking at knuckle couplers, 2 for $10, and the shipping was high. Like, what the heck? Yeah, and it's for such small things, too, which is the really strange part. Can you run your BC rail engine? Yeah, we can run that one. 2 couplers, that's it in the box. SMT, how did you get started in the hobby? The way I got started in the hobby was actually through I've always, as long as I can remember being around, I've always liked trains, so there was that. But the main thing was that my dad had model trains as a kid. So when I was quite young, one night we were headed over to my grandparents' house, and he brought me downstairs, and he showed me he unboxed all the trains he had from when I was a kid. And he actually let me bring one home. So that was kind of like the first exposure I had to a model train. And that was in like November of 2006. So of course, by the time December rolled around, it was Christmas, and it was time to write up my Christmas list, and I put a train set down as one of the things I wanted. So that's where it all began. One little lifelike train set as a Christmas gift. I find it funny that you can immediately tell the manufacturer of a locomotive, but not what locomotive they built. I'm not great with identifying either. Yeah, no, I can look at a lot of trains like on eBay and be like, that one's an Athearn, that one's a Model Power, that one's by Rivarossi, just by little kind of signature things. It's about how the locomotive looks or so. But yeah, I can't identify most types of locomotives. I'm the worst with F units. I can, because F units, they're all generally the same, but they all have little differences with the vents or something like that, and I can't spot those differences. So I'll say, oh, this is an F7, and then somebody will be like, no, it's an F3. So yeah, I can't spot the little details. Like, I've been calling these E8s. Apparently they're actually E7s because they have the square windows. I sell on eBay and Chinese merchants use China Post. It takes forever sometimes. It's very slow. Yeah, I agree with that. I just find it funny. Like, if somebody's charging, like, let's say for a small item $5 from shipping within Canada, so it doesn't even have to go across the border, it's like, okay, you know, yeah, it's gonna arrive a lot faster. But the thing I don't get is when it's like $50. That's where it's sort of like, yeah, there's definitely something shady going on there. Let's go. I finally made it. I've been waiting to watch these one forever. Well, welcome, ZJ Worley. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I don't think I've ever seen a comment so enthusiastic about joining one of these streams. Usually, there'll be people, oh, I've seen your streams before. Glad I got to make one live or something like that. It's funny. Blacksland Ridge 3, welcome back. Mevo, hello, Caltrain, Rockcraft. It's like a whole bunch of people just joined in at the same time. It's funny. J-Train, I can't drink water. I just don't like the fact there's no taste. Oh, I guess my grandfather was not the only one. Hey, SMT, I have a question. Lifelike or Athearn Blue Box? I like Lifelike a lot because their stuff's a lot of fun to work on, and I liked all the products that they made. But when you want to talk about like reliability, Athearn Blue Boxes are much more sensible than any Lifelike engines. They were just built better. They were designed better. Like, they're pretty much better through and through. But I don't know. A lot of it's a funny thing because a lot of people kind of who are a bit more critical of my channel, you know, they'll say, oh, you're messing around with, why do you mess around with these old, like, Tyco Power Torques? They're terrible, they run awful, and, you know, they're not authentic. And I'm aware of all that, but the thing is that I just don't really care. I just find them fun to work on, but doesn't mean I think that they're, like, great runners or anything like that. But the hobby's about having fun, so if you want to buy engines that run terribly, you know, why not? When you mentioned about telling trains apart, it's like, yeah, I have a problem. I thought mine was an F7, but it's an FT unit. Hey, SMT, sorry for repeating the question, but what's your opinion on Bachmann Easy Track? I've never been a big fan of the stuff. I mean, it's better, like, in the 70s, I think until the 90s, starter sets just came with pretty much Snaptrack. And Snaptrack is much better for building like a layout because, you know, you nail it down and stuff like that. But for the floor, it's really bad because if you put just conventional track like this on the floor, it's going to pick up all sorts of fibers. So putting a road bed under it is a really good idea. The problem I have with Easy Track, though, the two problems. First of all, the joining system is not very reliable. I find the plastic snaps pretty easily. It gets very brittle. So it's not that great to be taking it apart, putting it back together. But the bigger problem is the rail joiners. They just use conventional rail joiners for their track, and the problem with that is if you're taking it apart and putting it back together, those are going to wear out. So it's just not a great design. Like Walters has Power Lock, which is something that was made by Lifelike, and the connection system, from what I've heard from a lot of people, is a lot better. I used to have it so long ago I don't remember. But the bigger thing is it has no rail joiners, which means those can't wear out. Or when they get worn out, they don't go over top of each other. I found it funny. The other day, somebody posted a photo of a Bachmann train set, and it was like a photo of that Bachmann would use to sell their stuff, like on a website like Amazon. And if you look really carefully at the track, you can see one of the rail joiners is over top of the rail. So not even the people at Bachmann's advertising department could put their own track together properly. So because of the rail joiners. Which is something, if you're a beginner, you might not know. You have to know how to spot it by doing this. So yeah, not a big fan of it. It's better than the old one though, don't get me wrong. Live, hello. Oh, welcome, Bell Road TV. just bought Dom a Baby Ruth Chug Chug car on eBay. He loves it. They're a lot of fun. That's the thing about Tyco though. They made very exciting stuff. I feel like modern manufacturers should actually take notes from Tyco and Lifelike for kind of the things they used to add to their train set. Even older Bachmann stuff had some of those like little operating features, because I think they make the sets a lot more fun. Kato Unitrack is the best trek across the board as far as I'm concerned. I've never used it before, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. I'm sure it's better than Easy Track. What's the little siding that's hanging off your table? It's a link to the next layout. Sparky, welcome. How are you? I had power lock track. It was nice. Jordan Martinez. Hi, SMT. Just finished working on the $30 daylight. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Serenity. Can you run your dream engine? We'll run it for the last train stream. Chris, Tyco marketing was great. Kids need to do stuff like that while trains run. Yeah, well, that's just the thing. A lot of modern manufacturers, they sell train sets and it's just a loop of track. And I feel like that would just get dull really, really quickly. Like in my case, I only had that loop of track for a few months, but I had several engines to run, and by the time, that started to get less exciting, I had to, was building this layout. So, I feel like the entertainment was good, but if you just had that loop of track and kind of nothing to add on to it, I don't know, I just don't feel like it would be exciting for all that long, especially when you have to compete against, video games and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'd hope that manufacturers would catch on and add things to their sets to make them a little bit more exciting. Downtown trains. It's funny how everyone is saying things like hello from Germany or hello from Spain, all these exotic places, while I'm just here thinking hello from Corn on the Cob, Wisconsin. Wisconsin seems like a nice place. Me and my dad were planning on going for a trip, but obviously but obviously that's not going to happen for a while. Hey, SMT, how does a bogie in like for an X Midnight Special stay inside of the engine and still run? They, Tyco did something very odd, because in most trains you just have, a joint that goes from the motor to each truck, and then that's how the power is transferred. But in the case of all Tyco bogies, the motor is actually built right into the bogie, so that it just turns with the whole bogie. Sort of odd, but same thing that Lifelike and Bachmann did, and Lionel for a while. What did you change with your layout if you had to do it over? I'm sorry, I'm new to the hobby and I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to make a layout. It's funny you say that, and a lot of people have been asking about that. The one thing, and I've already changed it, but one thing I was talking about earlier is don't go with 18 radius curves. If you have the space, go with the widest curves you have available there. At least 22 radius, because it will make running trains much more enjoyable. Sparky just cleaning up the backyard in the house. Where's your frozen meme car? It's right down there, actually. I love my Tyco Amtrak cars and engine. All the cars light up really well. I've been working on my UP DDA 35X, painting it and placing decals on it. Nice. Have you ever kit bashed a locomotive? I've built some kits before. I don't think I've ever done any kit bashing, though. Except the Hershey factory, kind of. But I don't know. Most of that's raw materials. It's not really like buying kits. There are parts from kits on it, though, which I've bought at hobby shops. And Chris from Go VR Go Home gave a whole bunch of parts to me he had from a whole bunch of kits he had been using for kit bashing. So I got all of that as a gift. Can you run the old Flashman Loco? I can run it for a little bit. I don't want to run it for very long, though, because I really haven't fixed it. Oh yeah, that's right, I brought it over here. I've met a lot of people who didn't realize there was anything beyond a basic loop of track. Yeah, I find it kind of sad. I've been in contact with this gentleman named Mike from Florida. He was the one who actually sent that structure. Let me find it right here. He built this right here, this beautiful club. But anyway, we've been kind of sending emails back and forth, and he's built this kind of compact layout, but it has multiple layers of track and all these different routes and stuff like that. And he's hoping to kind of do a bit of a series for beginners on how, you know, if you don't have a lot of space, you can still build a really impressive layout. And what he's built is so cool. So yeah, and I feel like if a lot of beginners, I mean, building something like that for a beginner is kind of difficult, but I feel like, I don't know, if you kind of set their sights on something like that, it might encourage them, I don't know, to do something a little bit more interesting than just build a loop of track, and they might have something I don't know, they're just more happy with. Yeah, I think that's about all I'm going to run the old Fleshman. It needs work. How does the bogey stay in the engine when it runs? Bogey stay in the engine when it runs. There are two clips that hold it in. If you're asking this question because the bogey has fallen out, probably means one of the clips is broken or it just became detached, but I might have some around here. Yeah, there are two clips that join onto each other, and sometimes if the locomotive is dropped, it will pop out, and if you just push it in carefully, it will click back into place. The chat is delayed. Cruises Trains, I don't know what the Discord is. If anybody in here has a link to it, yeah, please post it, but I don't know the exact name of the server and everything like that. Oh, Phoenix is here. Welcome. Actually, run the River Odyssey, Hiawatha, Swedish GS4, and SP cars at the end of the stream. Well, I can run the big boy again. I want to see the big boy. Okay, yeah, we can run the big boy. Jake the GR 805009 Productions. Welcome. MSH Rail fan. How do I become a moderator? Well, I don't know. There's not like really a way to become a moderator. I kind of just pick people to be moderators. It's not like there's a whole lot of a process. What's your favorite engine from EMD? F units? Don't know if those are gonna stay coupled. The coupler height is kind of there. When did you start liking trains? I've liked trains for as long as I can remember. Pretty much my entire life. I mean, I grew up with a live steam locomotive. Like I was seeing it on a weekly basis because my grandfather, he had a house out in the country by what was the HCW Railway, and my dad would head over there with me every weekend, and they would have coffee, and we'd be in his place, and they would just, you know, kind of chat for a while there, and maybe put on Gilligan's Island for a while, and then we'd wait. We'd hear the whistle of the train, and it only went like 40 kilometers an hour. So when you heard the whistle, you had tons of time, and we'd go down there and see it. So yeah, I can't. That's got to be what got me into trains. Just seeing that as far back as I've been around. So. Yeah, because I can't remember what month. They were running the train, and the train was running in 2001, so it was definitely around the first year I was around. And I think it started running in about May of... It would have started running in about May of 2001, so yeah, I would have only been like a month old when I first saw this thing, so I don't know, just seeing it over and over again probably had an influence. SMT, can you run the Centennial? Sure. What's your favorite locomotive? Whoops. Probably the Rivarossi Hiawatha. We're gonna bring this back. We'll a lot of people wanted me to do some double heading, so we'll connect the Centennial up to this, and we'll just run them both. SMT, we should do more Discord voice chat. Yeah, I don't know. I don't go on the Discord server terribly often, but yeah, the other day we're all having a great little conversation about all sorts of things. We get 200. There are wow, 200 likes. Thank you, everyone. Wow. Anyway, there. Hold on. Why won't it allow me to post this? It should allow you, because first of all, you're a moderator, but also I don't have links disabled, so it should be good. The Big Boy's a beautiful model. I love it. It's great train there. I've always wanted a Big Boy, but I don't know. Something about actually seeing one in person in the models. I don't know. It's really nice. I have an HO GG1 in Tucson. Tuscan, yeah, that's a nice scheme to have it in. I've got a Tuscan red one as well. Doesn't run. I could, you know, if those other GG1s turn up, I could probably turn this one into a dummy, and then I'll have two Tuscan red ones to run together. So that would be fun. I will say, Pemco didn't do too bad a job though. That looks good in my opinion. Seeing a Big Boy in person is amazing. I've never seen an operating one. I did see one in person, though, at Steamtown National Historic Site. That was pretty cool. Just, yeah, it's a mind-boggling engine seeing one that big. I can't even imagine what it must have been like when they got 4014 running. Everybody seeing that running again, it really must have been quite something to see. I know a fair amount of people in here have seen it. Sent me pictures of when they first saw it, and really must have been yeah, quite a sight. Run the Centennial and the Canadiana on DC. I believe it's both 262. I tried 262, didn't work, so I just reprogrammed the Canadiana to the address of 3. Got a video of 4014 a few months ago. That's cool. Hey, SMT, I picked up a Broadway Canadian Pacific AC600 on eBay for well below half the price. I guess eBay can have good deals from time to time. I mean, it's possible. It's very, very rare, though. Especially with the shipping. I mean, I was talking about earlier, I bought those two GG1s below the market value, which is very rare for eBay, but, I mean, who knows? I really don't know what's... I mean, I hope they do turn up, but I'm honestly wondering. I was 16 feet from it. Wow. I've seen the Big Boy, the one in Scranton, Pennsylvania. That's cool. Clear EG Tower. David's EDG skill always sends cool stuff like the big boy. Last I heard, his next shipment was arriving by container ship, so make some space. Yeah, David's super generous. I've seen the big boy blowing the whistle on YouTube. I had tears in my eyes, honestly. Seeing a train in real life, I don't know. They've got a lot of presence to them. I will say that. I don't know. There's nothing like when a train's approaching. You got the bells of the crossing going there, and it's blowing the horn, and the ground is shaking. There's something just exciting about watching a train go by. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. SMT, sorry for repeating the question, but what's your opinion the fact that UP bought out SP? I mean, apparently Southern Pacific was not in such great shape when UP took ownership. I remember watching a video, I think, where they had just taken ownership and they were having to literally, like, within a matter of weeks, rebuild a lot of their infrastructure because it was in such decrepit shape. But, I mean, I guess it had to happen. I wish Southern Pacific could still be around, and the more railroads, the merrier in my books, but, yeah, I mean, what happened, happened. Not really much you can do. Pretty cool history, though. I think SP definitely had some of the coolest trains. I saw 4014 and 844 in Utah last year. Nice. Suddenly got sunny in Markham. I've seen the... Hey SMT, this is Hagen. I sent you the F unit to paint. When will you post the video? I haven't taken it. It's still in that box, but it is here, so that's good. I don't know when I'm gonna open that up. We'll have to do it soon. Nerf Cat action. I don't know where Nerf Kitty is right now. The max distance allowed by the tracks was 15 feet. What's your favorite freight train company? Canadian National. And for America, it's BNSF. Doesn't the big boy use a diesel's horn? I always thought it had a traditional whistle. I think 4449 uses an unconventional horn, but I'm pretty sure it's possible the big boy is rigged up with a different horn, but I'm pretty sure it has a whistle. I get the same feeling when I run out in front of cars on my bike. Nice. What defunct railroad would you revive? For a small league railroad, of course, it would be the Hull Chelsea Wakefield Railway, because it's pretty much my favorite railway when it existed. But for a big scale, it would probably be Southern Pacific, honestly. North American Trains, welcome. Saw 404 Big Boy Challenger 3977 on my trip. It was shockingly big. SP was using the old SD9s in the 1990s. Yeah, I mean, it's for a company's operation, it's really not good if they're using super old equipment that hasn't been overhauled. You know, I don't know, it kind of says something about their budgets. But I kind of like it when railroads are using super old equipment. There's still railroads throughout, like, Ontario, which are probably few in Quebec, mostly Ontario, as far as I'm aware, and they're still using F units. I think they've been overhauled. But I don't know, it's so strange seeing F units doing modern on modern railroads. How do I fix the daylight steam engines when the wheels locked up? Oh no, I hate to say, when that happens, if it's an old split chassis with the pancake motor, is not a whole lot you can do, unfortunately. You can kind of crazy glue them, but that's called the wheels have become unquartered and they're binding, or in worst case the whole thing is moved around and then It's actually locked. If ever you have an engine lock up, though, don't ever force it to run. That's one thing to remember. Hey, SMT, did you know that the big boy got its name? Someone who went into shops was first on and did the spoke box, wrote on the truck, big boy on it. I was not aware of that. I do know that early on when they were running the 4014, somebody had wrote big boy, and under that they put a great big V, and a lot of people in the comments were asking about that. And what I discovered is that apparently, because I guess they were building the big boys during the Second World War, the Americans, they would put a V on it for victory, so big boy victory, which is pretty cool. So it's really nice that they went and did that when they basically rebuilt 4014 to sort of a renaissance of that. Barn full of trains, welcome. Burlington Northern and Santa Fe are still alive, just under one road now. I suppose you could argue that, but I don't know. I mean, pretty much their own railroad. I mean, they don't use the same paint scheme or the same locomotives, or really, there's not a whole lot of either left as far as I know. SMT, are you thinking about getting an HO scale Union Pacific 844 for your layout doubleheader with your big boy? I mean, I get why people really like 844. I don't know. I've personally never really wanted one all that much. I've just never got it. The big boy is a really cool engine. 844, I know it has a cool history. You know, it was basically a steam engine that was never retired, and that's impressive. But I don't know. I'm not too wild about them. Just remember that SP and ATSF almost merged as well. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Canadian National tried to buy out BNSF, if I'm not mistaken, too. So, I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff going on with that. SMT, make the Wakefield train in Minecraft. Yeah, I don't know. I know this is not train related, but have you seen any of the War of Worlds movies? I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of that. Hey, SMT, did you know that Big Boy got... Okay, I already read that comment. SMT, does SMT stand for Scrumptious Model Trains? Yes, it does. SMT, what do you think about UP buying Chicago Northwestern? I don't really know anything about that. I did know about them buying out Southern Pacific, but I wasn't aware that they had bought Chicago Northwestern. Hey, SMT, can you run your O-scale train? I don't know if it's even plugged in at the moment. Matt, have a good night, everyone. I gotta go. Thanks for stopping by, Matt. Run the frozen car. Well, well, the problem is that I've got the other cars on the track there, and I don't know if I don't know. I remember the last time I was trying to run the locomotive there, it wasn't actually going. I've got the little Scout, but that's not powerful enough to haul the whole train. I guess we could try to get the Scout to pull that, but we have to make some adjustments first. All right. The person who disliked the stream was probably a 5-year-old who asked a question SMT didn't answer. Who knows? I wish YouTube gave people a thing where they could actually type out why they dislike, because, I mean, I get it. Maybe you don't like the content or something. There could be any reason why somebody dislikes something, but it's not that productive if people can just, you know, say, oh, I didn't like this, but you don't have anything why. It's like, how are you supposed to improve if you don't know what you did wrong? Can you run the Acela? Probably, but we did already run it. Seems like a really heavy thing. I don't know if the Scout's going to be strong enough to do this, honestly. Also, this tender, it looks a bit funny having a tender that's about the same size as the locomotive. Alright. Now I just need to plug in the controller, and we'll see how all of this goes here. And just do this part with both hands so I don't go electrocute myself. All right. So it can. This seems like a bad idea. It's not that strong. I'm gonna end up burning out the motor. Also just gonna quickly unplug the controller there. Probably do something with the controller too. I don't think it has any, it doesn't have a ground on it, so I don't frankly entirely trust it. SMT, you know you could literally have a tender running in HO scale constants because the tender is the power box. It's not on any of my models. It has a motor in it, but that's for the whistle. Quackman YouTube, welcome. Q-Tagama, sorry I learned the name properly. Hey SMT, what's your opinion on pre-war Lionel trains? I don't think I've ever had any experience with one. All of my stuff is post-war. I've heard they're very well made though. And I think it was a Lionel 2 on this channel called Darth Santa Fe. He works on a lot of that older stuff, and I believe he had one old engine there, and it had a switch for so it could run on both DC and AC, which I've never even heard of that before. So that's something new. Why do you have Elsa and Anna on a train car? I hate Frozen. Oh, well, it's funny you say that. I'm not a big fan of Frozen either. I'll say that. I didn't think it was all that good of a movie. But anyway, months ago in a stream, I went on a great big rant about Frozen, and then that turned into a bit of a thing, and people thought that was sort of funny. So it turned into a bit of a meme. So, of course, David's E2G scale went and I guess got 2 Frozen figures in a flat car and glued them on there. That way it could all come right back again, which is kind of hilarious. So, yep, that's how that happened. But don't worry, I'm in the same boat as you on that movie. Why would you be able to run... Would you be able to run some of your CN units sitting in the city? Oh. I guess so. I've been looking for that. I can only run the one, though, because the other one is missing wheels. Because this is the one that fell off the shelf there. So I need to rebuild that. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? I've been asked this question before. I can't remember what I answered. Yeah, that's tough. I have no idea. It's one of those things you need to sit down in a chair for me, probably 10 days to think about, because I don't know. Sound is okay. Is there sound problems? To spawn trains. Oh yeah, that would be fun. Just go around planting locomotives all over the place. Doesn't have sound. Okay, I need to get those Santa Fe cars. The controller is super warm. These are drawing way too much current for my liking. Old incandescents. And the engine sped up a tiny bit. I can hear it. I think the volumes were. I hope it's okay. Can you please run your chassis system? Yeah, we can run one of those. Refresh. Yeah. SMT, you should make an SMT meme. Cons is pulled by the Acela. Yeah, hey, it looks like the plexiglass worked. Well, there we go. An engine that I think I paid like 40 bucks for has been saved. Serenity! Yeah, but then somebody wanted me to run a chassis system, so try to run that. I mean, I suppose we can... Oh, wait, that's the dummy engine. I don't know where the other one is. Yeah, we'll just try to run this, because this is an old life. Like, these run really well. Oh, there's still power on the track. Hey, Harrison, do you have any Missouri Pacific engines? I don't think I do. Run the Ottawa O train and the SD40-2 at the same time. I can run one of them if you want, but I don't want to run them together because they're both very different. Also, I paid a pretty penny for the talent there, so I don't want to have the SD40-2 knock it off the table. I don't know what could happen, but... yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to go retrieve this beverage which turned up earlier. I don't know, my sister just brought this downstairs. It's coffee milk. Perfect. I have the exact same chassis Loco. Yeah, these are not very uncommon, but this is a second generation lifelike with the 5-pole motor. I think I paid 15 bucks for this thing, and it ran awful. I gave it some lubricant. It runs great now. Try sharpening the switch point slightly to E to see if the Loco's derail. Yes, also check the wheel gauges. Yeah, it could. It's probably a mix of both, but there's a switch out there which is a bit questionable. So yeah, milk coffee. Do you plan on making the layout bigger? I mean, it's already awesome, but just wondering. I've pretty much reached, I think, the maximum amount of space down here. But there is going to be rail access to the Hershey plant, so that there's going to be overall more track. I'm also planning at some point to build a layout under this layout for storage. So, kind of, but not out of the current footprint. I didn't know that there were lifelikes with 5 poles. Yeah, a lot of the there's 2 generations of lifelikes. The very, very first lifelike engines that existed. I think I have one right here if I can find it. Yeah, so this is a first generation lifelike, and this has a 5-pole in it. And what you'll notice if anybody has old Varney engines, these actually are very, very similar. So that's the first generation lifelike, which were actually based off the Varney drives, because Lifelike bought out Varney. And then right after that, they made their second generation, which still had the 5-pole motor. But what they did was they put the 5-pole motor right in the center of the locomotive, and they put a drive shaft to the gearbox. So that's what this is. It's the second generation, and then Lifelike came out with their third generation, which is the generation that's most common. And all their train sets basically after the 1980s, which have the Kadar drive systems that Bachmann used, and essentially Tyco used as well. Those are not as good as they're not as good as these ones though. They had better motors in them. They were just generally better engines. So yeah, that's Lifelike, and then of course Lifelike made Proto, which were way better than the third generation Lifelikes, which they were still making up until a few years ago. And yeah, now I think Proto is now one, because they used to have Proto 1 in 2000. Now I think it's all just Proto, so because Walters owns them. Dude, make the Hershey plant to run all of your layouts. Let's put a small freight yard in the back. What are you gonna do when you go to college? I have no idea. Are you doing a 24-hour stream? Funny you say that, Phoenix. I'm actually gonna be finishing this stream up in about 2 minutes. My dad just came down here and did a 2-minute sign there, so I have to finish it up because dinner's almost ready, so I'll have to finish it up. Yeah. Where will the Hershey factory go? It's staying where it is. I mean, I can't put this anywhere on the layout. I mean, if I tried to put this on that, it wouldn't even fit just width-wise, but also, like, it would literally consume all of Dunderville. There'd be no more Dunderville left. Run your dream locomotive. I did say I was going to run that. I should have kept a closer eye on the time. We'll run the locomotive. I won't run the whole train, but I'll run the locomotive because I do want to keep my promise on that. So yeah, let's get this thing. This thing is pretty strong, eh? It's probably not good to run it with that much power, but just goes to show you just how strong those motors are. Great little engine. I'm pretty sure the motors in here too are pretty basic, so I could probably even give this thing neodymium magnets, which if I gave, I mean, it'd be kind of silly to put $10 worth of magnets in an engine that's only worth 15 bucks, but if I wanted to make that like the best running Lifelike out there, I could probably do that. And then the motor would be way more efficient, and then you've almost got it pretty much modern operating standards, which is sort of funny for an old Lifelike, at least efficiency-wise. Anyway, run the Australian I don't know. I don't think I have time to run any more except this one. I'm just going to pick this one up with both hands here, so don't break anything off of it. All right, then. So we'll send this around for one lap, and then that will be the end of the live stream there. I'm sure if the controller could speak, it would probably be happy running this engine in comparison to all the other ones, because this thing is so efficient. Look at this. The current draw, like, it barely makes the dial on the current draw even move. It's ridiculous. I don't know why. It seems to be having some problems here, though. Okay, I think it's good now. How big is the layout? I don't know the dimensions of it. Got any BNO, Boston and Maine? Yeah, well, I've got Maine Central. I don't think I have any Boston and Maine, though. Anyway, here's this final one there. Anyways, there. I think I'll finish off the stream now. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you. 250 likes. That's crazy. Thank you all so much for that. I really do appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody joining in and chatting. So, yeah, anyway, have a great day, everyone. And a nice night, I guess. Yeah, oh, it's 6:25. I didn't even realize that. Wow, I've been going at this for a while. Anyway, have a great night, everyone.